If it's Monday night, oh yes, it is ridiculously raw. Hello, friends. It's Anthony Floyer. It's ridiculously over Anthony Floyer here with you for another edition of Ridiculously Raw. Delighted to have you with us, and I'm joined as always by my partners in crime, of course, the host of the Cerebral Smack Talk, Good Old MF, Michael Fletcher, as well as the Phenom, Michael Bullock. And yes, we had a historic moment on Monday Night Raw tonight. The return of Bill Goldberg into a WWE ring. And it was memorable. Yes. I cannot, for the life of me, say the same about this show here tonight. There will be a lot of cutouts. Bear in mind. So with that being said, let's get into it. We'll review Raw as we always do, and continue the road to Hell in a Cell, and then I'll also have my Tony's take on Impact Wrestling, and that's really all there is to say on that. So with that being said, let's dive on in. Monday Night Raw was live tonight from the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado, the home of the NHL's Colorado Avalanche and NBA's Denver Nuggets. And yeah, this show is not good. But it did start off on a very good note, though. I will admit that. The start of the show was great, but then everything after it, well, a lot to be desired. Let me just say that right now, a lot to be desired. And it's not often I say this, but I may be a Monday Night Raw guy through and through. I may bleed the Raw red till I'm dead, but Michael Fletcher, your SmackDown Live is a far better show. Let me tell you that right now. And we'll get into that in the future. But for right now, let's dive on into this. Started with an in-ring segment as usual. We had the Universal Champion Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. They cut a promo, and then it was interrupted by Seth Rollins. And, well, a new hashtag came out. We can definitely get behind a new hashtag here tonight. And I'm going to waive my PG rule for a moment because of this new word that Seth Rollins gave us. And it gave me and Michael Bullock a little bit of a laugh during this show. And this was actually funny. A lot of the funny ha-ha stuff they do is not funny. But this time around, Michael Bullock and I, we couldn't stop laughing because of this. Seth Rollins gave us a new hashtag here tonight. I give you the debut of hashtag Sparkle Crotch. Yes, Sparkle Crotch is now a household name, ladies and gentlemen, because that's exactly what he referred to Chris Jericho as because of his trunks, his wrestling trunks, which Jericho came out in. Of course, Owens came out in a suit, but nonetheless, they cut their promo and everything else. Talked about they got into the list of Jericho and everything else, and the whole 9 yards, and they beefed about the officiating from last Monday's Raw, called out referee Rod Zapata, and the whole 9 yards. And then it would lead into a match, a one-on-one match, Seth Rollins against Chris Jericho. And the winner of the match, in 14 minutes and 30 seconds, it was Seth Rollins via the pedigree. And, well, I'll say it like this. As far as the segment goes, second best segment of the night. One segment was better. You know where I'm going with it. I pretty much explained it to you in just a little bit ago. A good exchange with the fans getting behind Rollins more than usual, and Jericho acknowledging that he knows what Owens has been up to. I continue to hope that this is leading to a triple threat at Hell in a Cell, because the question of what Jericho will do is still more interesting to me than Owens versus Rollins at this point. So that's really all I can say about the segment. It was the second best segment of the night, and the live crowd actually got behind Seth Rollins for a change, which was great. I mean, I know his face turn hasn't really been all that great as of yet, but no, it was actually very good. So that's really all I can say on that. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Mute the mic, Bullock, please. And as far as the match is concerned, far and away, this was the fight of the night. No question about it. A lot of the matches on this show tonight absolutely sucked, if I'm going to be real honest with you. But this one did not. I mean, yes, Kevin Owens does come out and gets involved a little bit. At least he didn't get physically involved. Bullock and I were going back and forth about this, and but this to me was the fight of the night. I'm going to give it in excess of 3.5 to 4 stars, although it's 3.5 for match quality, 4 for personal enjoyment, 3 3/4 altogether. So I'm just gonna say 3.5 to 4 stars. And let me just say it like this. I mean, the broadcast team played up the idea that Owens being caught with the rope actually cost Jericho the match. So they are keeping the idea of Jericho snapping on Rollins, or I should say Owens, alive. They are playing this well either way, and that Rollins should not be losing matches right now. So he is the right guy to go over in television matches either way. At this point, I suspect Jericho will be in the Hell in a Cell match because they continue to make him such a big part of the story. So, but like I said, I know Owens got involved quite a bit, but I still enjoyed the match. It was still a very enjoyable match, and far and away it was the best fight of the show, no question about it. And that's why I got to call it the fight of the night. Overall, I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. I wanted to give it between 3 3/4 to 4, but that little bit of some interference, I got to be honest with you. But I don't care what anybody says. I'm the man who tells it like it is. It's a 3.5 star match. Another great outing from these two guys, and somehow, some way, I get this iffy feeling we're gonna get a triple threat at Hell in a Cell. I don't know why, but I think we're gonna get it. So that's all there is to say on that. Second best segment of the night and the fight of the night, all in one, and a very good start to what was a very edition of the show tonight. So, with that being said, let's bring in good old MF Michael Fletcher, the host of the Cerebral Smack Talk. 2-for-1 segment here, MF. Your thoughts on the segment as well as the match with Rollins and Jericho?
Well, as far as the segment goes, I thought it was a good segment. Like you said, it was very enjoyable. I liked it as well. I had nothing bad to say about it. It was definitely going to be one of those quite interesting dilemma more than anything else. But at the end of the day, I thought it could have been a lot more. It was good. It was solid. I liked it. I got nothing bad to say about it. As far as the match goes, I think you grossly overscored this. I'm sorry. Something just tells me I can only go maybe 3 to 3.5 stars. I can't go 3.5 to 4 because I don't think they were nowhere near that level. I'm sorry. I disagree. I can see you with 3.5, but for me, my theory is I was going to give it between 3 and 3.5. That was just my personal opinion. That's where I thought they went there. So other than that, that's it. Mike Bullock, I give it to you.
All right. When it comes to this this segment, I mean, I thought it was a good segment to start off this edition of Raw. I love the back and forth with Rollins, Owens, and Jericho, and man, me and Florio, we all got a laugh out of that. We both got a laugh out of that sparkling crotch thing that came out, and I got a feeling that's going to be the new. That's going to be the hashtag that's going to be going around. But yeah, I mean, yeah. So there's really nothing more to say. I mean, this was the second best segment of the night, and as far as the match goes, I'll meet you guys in the middle. I'm going to say 3.25 stars is my rating on the match. I mean, it was a good match. I mean, this was definitely the fight of the night, but it was just because of the little bit of interference that by Kevin Owens that basically took away from it. I mean, the body of work of Jericho and Rollins is really good. I mean, they certainly can bring it in the ring. It's just that I was hoping we didn't get some sort of interference, but it is what it is. So the second best segment of the night when it comes to the opening segment, and when it comes to the match, 3.25 stars is my rating and the fight of the night. So that being said, Florio, let's move on.
Okay. We're going to be getting on to the cutouts here in just a moment, but first, we do need to address. It was the first of 2 sit-down interviews with WWE Hall of Famer Lita Lita with a sit-down interview with Charlotte. They talked about the match, the first ever women's Hell in a Cell match coming up at Hell in a Cell in 2 weeks in Boston, and I gotta say it like this. I mean, this was very well done by Charlotte. I mean, say what you want about her, and I know Michael Bullock has been very critical of Charlotte, and I know Fletch has even been critical of Charlotte at times, but no, I thought this was well done. I really did. And Charlotte shined in this sit-down interview. She was very condescending in some of her responses to Lita and displayed a very believable arrogance throughout the interview. So that's honestly all I can say about that. So so that was a very, very good sit-down interview with Lita and Charlotte. So well done. All right. Now we go to now it's cutout time. So fellas, relax. I'm going to do it like this. In the immortal words of Aaron Rodgers, RELAX, relax, because you're going to be doing a lot of that during the show tonight. Because there was a lot, and I do mean a lot, of horrific, pointless, unnecessary, unacceptable, monkey hot garbage on this show here tonight. Obviously, the brainchild of one Vince McDinkleberg and his buck-toothed sidekick, Kevin Dunn, in the immortal words of Jim Cornette. So, here you go. If you didn't watch this show tonight, you didn't miss a thing. Believe other than that first segment and the Goldberg thing, you didn't miss much. So I'm just gonna run it down for you right here. This is where the SAWFT stuff comes into play. We start off with a 6-man tag team match. Get excited for this. The Golden Truth and Mark Henry against the Shining Stars and Titus O'Neil. Huh. I'm gonna put some butts in the seats. Yeah, right. R-Truth. It was the Golden Truth and Mark Henry who get the win in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. A world's strongest slam by Mark Henry on Titus O'Neil. Absolute dud. Another one. I mean, one of many horrific fights on the night. Point of this was what, really? Nothing. So that's honestly all you can say on that. So absolute dud. We're not even going to waste any time on that. So and I love and respect MF and Bullock so much. I'm not even going to bother them. So that's it. So okay, now we're going to get into some relevant stuff here. We actually did have another relevant match here. We had Sheamus with Cesaro in his corner doing the Facebook Live nonsense that Sheamus did to him last week, going up against New Day's Big E Langston. Big E Langston wins the match in 10 minutes and 15 seconds with, of course, the dreaded roll-up out of nowhere. This actually was a good match. So, MF, yes, we are going to address this because this actually was relevant. So, your thoughts on Big E Langston against Sheamus?
You know what? Good match, solid fight. I could say this was definitely within, maybe the top 3 fights of the night, no doubt about it. I thought this was like maybe third best in my eyes. What really hammered this fight home was, there was that miscommunication between Sheamus and Cesaro. Look, this is a new tag team that was developed by Mick Foley because of the fact that the Best of 7 series, kind of ended in a 3-3-1 with the draw, and the fans were really upset. They're like, what are you doing? But they're trying to utilize them as a tag team, try to make them coexist. But like I said, this is that stranger bedfellows type thing, you opposites attract type of tag team. But, with Sheamus, with Cesaro, they're still going to be, they're not going to be the perfect tag team. You're going to see those quirks. You're going to see those instances where one guy's going to think that he's better than the other and try to overshadow the other. And I'm telling you, one of these days, they're going to end up winning the tag team titles. I think they're going to be the ones that's going to break the streak of... I think they're going to be the one that's going to end the streak of the New Day's 400-plus tag team title reign. So, I mean, we'll wait and see what happens in the near future. But, they were very impressive. They got, they'll get it sooner or later. Big E captured a good moment, had nothing wrong. Great performance from him. So I gotta say about maybe 2.5 to 3 stars is my rating. Other than that, that's it. Mike Bullock, it's yours.
Well, before I give you my thoughts on it, I got breaking news. The Cleveland Indians have taken Game 3 of the American League Championship Series 4-2. They take a commanding 3-0 lead in this best-of-7 series. And this was after Trevor Bauer had to leave after 2/3 of an inning with the stitches from that pinky finger being ripped open and bleeding, and the bullpen basically really did a wonderful job filling in. And I hate to say this, guys, but this series is over. Well, here's the thing. It's not a matter of if the Cleveland Indians win the pennant. It's only a matter of when they will do it. Could they do it tomorrow night in Game 4? I don't know. We'll find out. But Indians are certainly well on their way to representing the American League in the World Series. So, yes, getting back to this, of course, as far as this match goes, this was an enjoyable match, and I'll give it about the same thing, 2.5, 3 stars. I did like what I saw from this, and what was the telling story of all this is the miscommunication with Cesaro and Sheamus. You could tell they're definitely not on the same page, but other than that, the match was definitely good. I liked what I saw from Sheamus and Big E. So, yeah, so 2.5 to 3 stars is my rating on the match. So, Wario, I give it to you.
Yeah, a solid 2.5 for me. Let me see, what do I have here? Yeah, 2.5. Second best fight of the night. Rock solid match, but it just felt as if it was missing something. They continue to play up the issues with Cesaro and Sheamus, who can't get on the same page as they head towards the tag title match. That is official. Hell in a Cell, Sheamus and Cesaro against the New Day for the tag belts. So that's etched in stone now. Doing basically the same finish as last week didn't help the match in the end. Yes, it was a fine match, but I don't know. It was just, like I said, it was just missing something for me. So that's really all I can say on that. So yeah, that 6-man was a dud, like I said, and I like that Charlotte interview too. So, all right, so that's it. Next up, Bo Dallas went up against Adrian Neville, and you're obviously thinking, oh, Adrian Neville should win this thing going away. He didn't. Bo Dallas actually wins in 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and then after that, Bo Dallas attacked Curtis Axel. Whoa. Okay. But this is another cutout here. It was between 250 and 253 on the time. Yeah, this is another dud. Match had no real flow, constantly feeling disjointed, and then Dallas pulling off the anticlimactic victory. I think Neville does have more upside for him, but they seem dead set on this Dallas reboot. I wish I could say that I was excited for a Dallas Axel feud, but in the immortal words of Eddie Guerrero, I'll be lying, Holmes. Neville should have been an easy call to add to the cruiserweight division, but hey, we got Sin Cara. Please. And then from there, we had ourselves a women's division match. And this is a bit of a buddy bowl match because Michael Bullock and myself, we're both huge marks for Bayley. Michael Fletcher, MF, has actually been one of the few people that has actually gotten behind Dana Brooke. We don't know why, but he has. He obviously sees some kind of potential and upside in her, whereas Bullock and I, not really. But Bayley and Dana Brooke goes 1-on-1, and the winner of the match in 4 minutes and 5 seconds to 4 minutes and 10 seconds, Dana Brooke actually gets the win. And And Michael Bullock has strongly instructed me to consider this as a cutoff match, and I'm going to respect Bullock's wishes because he basically told me during our Raw chat, he said, "Florio, no comment," and I'm like, "Okay, no comment. That's fair enough." But I know MF has had some very strong feedback regarding Dana Brooke, and he's been a big Dana Brooke supporter over the last few weeks. So I'm sure Michael Fletcher's got to be pleased with Dana Brooke's victory here tonight. So, but let me just sum it up like this. You could call it a dud if you want, but I'm actually going to give it 1 star for the effort. And for as much as I love Bayley, this was not good. It was clunky. Dana's offense continues to look poor, and she was supposed to use the ropes to pick up the cheap win at the end, but due to poor positioning, failed. So that basically there was a dipsy-do botcheroo there. For some reason, WWE sees so much in her, but she continues to have poor performances, and I still feel she was brought up a little too early, but it is what it is. So so that's it. And then they had a backstage, they had a via satellite segment with Paul Heyman from the studios via satellite. Basically, talking about the Goldberg thing, and I'll say it like that. That was a good segment. Got the crowd to play into the promo, and it ended up working well as a tease for Goldberg's arrival later in the evening. And then we had the highlight of my night for sure. And Bullock, you know where I'm going with this because you remember how excited I got when we got to this.
Oh, don't get me going with this.
Roar! A Braun Strowman squash match. Oh, happy days. My power of prayer works, people. That's all I can say about that. I was hoping for a Strowman squash, and boy, howdy, we got one. 3 Ham and Egger jabronis who are basically nowhere near a cruiserweight level. Strowman squashes them in 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Another absolute dud. Complete waste of time. But he did say that, he basically called out Mick Foley. He says, "Hey, I want more competition. I'm done with these dud enhancement talents." But then all of a sudden, Sami Zayn shows up, and Sami Zayn picks a fight with Braun Strowman. Okay, so maybe that could be something interesting there. Basically, I'm cool with Strowman getting a real chance, and well, I'll just say it like this. But for real, Sammy is a great guy to work with Strowman and to sell for his monster offense. It should also allow us to see what Strowman really has. I'll admit that it's not the position that I want to see Zayn in, but we need to see what Strowman has, and Sammy selling for him and hopefully giving him longer matches can only help Strowman. Basically, I'm cool with Strowman getting a real chance, and Sammy is possibly the best guy to pair him with. We'll find out really quick if there is really something there with Strowman. So who knows? Maybe a Braun Strowman, Sami Zayn match at Hell in a Cell? Very possible. So, all right. Then we move on to some actual storyline progression here. Yeah, Monday Night Raw actually knows how to do that, even though SmackDown Live does it way better than they do. We had Rusev and Lana. They are in the ring. They did they rambled on, and they basically talk about Rusev's family, his mother, a 2-time world rowing champion, his father, a legendary military man and a wrestling champion, his brother, a great chef, his grandmother and his championship dog, and his football playing cousins and all that. And then that brings out Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns does his rebuttal, and then they have another brawl. So I'm going to leave it up to these guys. Do you guys want to get into this, or do you want to consider this another cutoff? It's up to you. So if you want to get into it, we'll get into it.
I'm not really feeling like doing it. I mean,
Yeah.
I liked what Rusev was talking about because it definitely is supposed to be the way of saying, I'm better than you, Roman. My family's better than you. We are, because remember, Roman Reigns' family is Samoan. And I think we can talk about the lineage of the Samoan family.
Yeah.
So many different. I mean, the Anawahis. I mean, you can go with The Rock, Rikishi, Umaga, the Wild Samoans
Yokozuna.
themselves, Yokozuna, Afa, Sika. You can go through the whole gambit about the entire family and that lineage. So I liked how Rusev tried to play it, but it just came off. It didn't deliver in the way that it should have came off. But it is what it is. I respect the effort, but like I agree. This is definitely cut off.
Okay, fair enough.
Same thing with me. No comment.
Okay, fair enough. So I'll just give you my brief thought on it. I think that Reigns' tone was off. The writing of his material, too much joking between two guys that are about to step into Hell in a Cell. The beatdown was solid as Rusev needed to get the upper hand and look dominant as the challenger, but it also feels repetitive. We've seen this before, and they're not doing anything new, making us care about the feud. It was fine. So that's really all I can say about that. All right. Then you had another cutoff gentleman, Carl Anderson with Luke Gallows in his corner going up against Big Cass with Enzo Amore in his corner, the Wrestling Forum's favorite tag team. And it was Anderson and Cass one-on-one. Winner of the match in 1 minute and 12 seconds. Yes, I said it, 1 minute and 12 seconds. Big Cass wins it with some big boss man like side slam move. Another absolute dud. And they wonder why people are not into Anderson and Gallows. When you do bad comedy and then beat them like a drum, how can anyone care? It was are you sure these were the same guys that were over as Rover in New Japan as part of the Bullet Club with the phenomenal AJ Styles and all those other great talents down there? They don't look like them to me. They just look like a couple of jobber guys. That's all I can say. And don't be surprised if at Hell in a Cell, I don't know if on the main card or if on the kickoff show or some sort, we get an Anderson and Gallows versus Enzo and Cass fight. That's all I can say. Then we had Lita's sit-down interview with the women's champion, Sasha Banks. Much like Charlotte, Banks came off well here discussing the match and their history. Lita was a little bit better here as well. The one thing missing was the hatred leading to Hell in a Cell because they are too concerned with the making history aspect. Let them make history. Stop telling us that they are. So that's all I can say on that. Okay, now we can get back into something back on the relevant side here. 6-man cruiserweight action here. 6-man tag team match. Brian Kendrick with Tony Nese and Drew Gulak going up against cruiserweight champion TJ Perkins, Cedric Alexander, and Rich Swann. Winners of the match in 7 minutes and 20 seconds via submission. Brian Kendrick, Tony Nese, and Drew Gulak. Brian Kendrick with a captain's hook on Rich Swann for the submission. So, Michael Bullock, you start this off. We felt this cruiserweight match was solid, but a little on the disappointing side. Let's elaborate on that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was good for what it was, but it was just so disappointing. I mean, I was expecting more out of this. And, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I was expecting a whole lot more, maybe even more time out of this, but it really didn't sell me that much. So, what was the time, Florio?
7 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, I'm only going to give it 1.5. I'm only going to, actually, no, not 1.5. I'm going to give it maybe an even, I'll give it 1 3/4 to 2 stars, but I mean, it was just so disappointing. I wanted to see more out of these cruiserweights. They should have gotten more time, and it could have been even more entertaining. So I was just left brutally disappointed in this. So nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
2 to 2.5 stars. That's the best I can go. It was another solid but unspectacular outing from the cruiserweights. They simply are not allowing them the match structure to impress. This should have been a wild sprint showing off all of their awesome stuff. Instead, it was just a match. with most of the roster working a faster style. The cruiserweights are just smaller guys working the same matches so far. Kendrick won to continue his momentum to the pay-per-view title match, which is fine. I'm all for that, but at least give us better matches. And this match was good for what it was, but I'm sorry to say this, and I hate to say this, but this was almost as bad as the TNA X Division match, if not worse. The Cruiserweight Classic was so freaking off the hook, so freaking awesome, and then you're giving us hot monkey garbage like this? Give me a break. MF, your thoughts?
I mean, I'm with you on that as well, guys. I really thought it was going to be a lot more better than it was, and it just did not deliver in a way that we were hoping for. Definitely let down, major letdown. Let's move on.
And then an announcement was made. I'm actually surprised they didn't do this in the ring or try to, make this as pomp and circumstancy as possible. But no big surprise. You knew this was going to happen. Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley accepted. They have accepted SmackDown Live's challenge, so it is on at Survivor Series. Those 3, count them 3, Raw versus SmackDown traditional Survivor Series elimination matches, 5-on-5 with the men, 5-on-5 with the women, and the 5-on-5 with the tag teams. We're on like Donkey Kong, Fletcher, so let's get ready for that. You knew I told you they were going to accept the challenge. I told you they would. I'm just surprised they didn't do it in a more pomp and circumstance fashion like they usually do. But then again, maybe as the old saying goes, less is more sometimes. So maybe it worked in this case, but we got plenty of time to build that up. And besides, we still got Hell in a Cell to get through. So, but don't worry, in due time, we will get there. We'll start the build for those 3 traditional Survivor matches with Raw and SmackDown Live. So, and also Mick Foley announced that with next week's show being the go-home show for Hell in a Cell, we're going to get a triple threat match. Universal Champion Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins versus Chris Jericho. Yeah, we're going to get that triple threat match. And then on top of that, Sheamus and Cesaro will face the New Day in a non-title match to obviously see if Sheamus and Cesaro can coexist. So that's all I can say on that, really. So okay, so I'm just reading it up. Yeah, they have accepted the challenge. They spoke about it. No official announcement. They have to play this game for another week if they're going to wait until after Hell in a Cell to make the announcement. And that's all there is on that. So, and one can wonder, will they go with a triple threat inside Hell in a Cell if Jericho wins that match? We'll have to wait and see. And now, for the moment we've all been waiting for. The main event segment of the evening, and I'm not at all surprised that they made this the main event segment. The return of Bill Goldberg. Goldberg. The chant was in
Goldberg.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, Michael Bullock kept doing that throughout the entire during the entire entrance. And what made it even cooler, they showed him they basically did the old WCW entrance. Instead of somebody knocking on the door, he just came out of the door. He just opened up the door, out he came, and various superstars and production crew members were on hand, in awe of watching Bill Goldberg make his way up the ramp and down to the ring. And they played the old WCW entrance theme. Oh, what a mark out moment. And I'll start it off by saying this. Segment of the night, highlight of the night, right here. We had to sit through all that nonsense, and it was well worth it. It was a marathon, but we got there. And segment of the night. What else is there to say? Goldberg was great. He's never been a great talker, but it was really fun here. It was cool to see him get emotional, as he's always come off like a guy who could take or leave the wrestling industry. but he was clearly overwhelmed by the ovation he received. His first appearance could not have gone any better. He sounded confident, he was great with the fans, and his closing line was spot on. An excellent moment, and one that made me look forward to his return to the ring. So, and I know a lot of people are not excited about Goldberg being back, and then also not a huge fan of the upcoming match, which he did accept, by the way. He accepted the match, so it is on, him and Lesnar. We're assuming Survivor Series in Toronto on November 20th. Derek Ferreira, our grand poobah, the Hardcore Pipe Bomb on Facebook, saying it's on, Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. But the question is, when does this happen? He honestly doesn't see it at Survivor Series. He thinks it's going to be a tough sell with a Sunday Night Football game and the most anticipated season in The Walking Dead. He thinks the match should be at the Royal Rumble in January, where it can sell out the Alamo Dome. Okay, but with that being said, it was a hell of a promo in front of an insane atmosphere. In all sincerity, that was the best promo Goldberg ever cut. And between the promo and the crowd response, he felt like a megastar. And more importantly, it felt real. It had a great intensity. And it was a hell of a segment to close what was otherwise a blah edition of the show. And if he could bring half of that intensity to the match, it may actually deliver something of quality. It could be far and away better than that garbage we saw at WrestleMania 20. So that's all I can say on that. So I don't know what to say about Derek Ferreira's comment. I mean, the dirt sheets are saying Survivor Series. Heck, Jim Ross on his blog even said Survivor Series. So I think it'll be Survivor Series, contrary to what Derek Ferreira thinks. I mean, it would be something if they put it in the Alamo Dome at the Royal Rumble in front of 50, 60,000 or however many they can get in there the second time around. We'll see if it outsells 97, but my goodness, though, my Lord in heaven, this was awesome. And even after all that hot monkey garbage we had to sit through on this show tonight, it was well worth it to see that moment with Bill Goldberg. So, hands down, segment of the night. Well done. Welcome back, Goldberg. That was awesome. So with that being said, let's toss it up to good old MF Michael Fletcher. Let's get his thoughts on this. MF, Bill Goldberg's back. Was that appearance tonight? Was that well worth the hype, or what? That was awesome. And also, if you want to chime in on what Derek Ferreira said on Facebook, feel free.
All right. Well, first off, I'm gonna say is I'm not gonna take too much of the time from Ferreira's comments, even though I do get where he's coming from, because of the fact that a lot of people are, but the thing is that the initial announcement or the initial excitement was because a lot of people thought that this was going to be set up for Survivor Series, that this fight was going to go down at Survivor Series, the whole 9 yards. Believe that the payoff is going to be that Lesnar wins that fight. That's going to prompt Shane to fight Lesnar at WrestleMania. But I truly believe that this is going to be one of those situations where I don't see it at Rumble. I'm sorry. I mean, I get it. Yes, it's going to be at the Alamo Dome. It's going to be a big fight, so you want to have some big matches and whatnot. But the problem is I just don't see it being at that type of an event. Don't get me wrong. Royal Rumble is going to be a huge event in San Antonio. Hell, there's rumors going around about possibly trying to bring Shawn Michaels back from retirement to fight AJ Styles for the WWE World Title at the Royal Rumble in San Antonio. There was a dirt sheet that went out today and that I caught while I was working saying that they were trying to get Shawn Michaels to come out of retirement and fight AJ Styles for the WWE World Title at the Royal Rumble in San Antonio and the Alamo Dome. And that they might do the unthinkable and give Shawn Michaels the title.
Whoa.
Whoa! Holy
Whoa,
crap, man!
I got my inner Keith Jackson here. Whoa, Nelly.
Huh?
Whoa.
So, yeah. So, why don't you chomp on that for a little bit while I continue? Now,
yes.
I'm going to say this. It was solid. I liked what Goldberg did. I loved the intensity. I loved everything that he did. I felt the emotion. I felt the realness. I felt everything about it. I was a big fan of this. I was on board with this, even though I'm one of those skeptics. I'm not fully enthused about the fight, but I gotta disagree with Derek. Even though he's coming from a good spot, a good place, I get it. It would be better off to do it at Royal Rumble in San Antonio, but the problem is you don't want to overshadow the Royal Rumble fight. If Shawn Michaels is indeed the guy that gets that shot for the WWE World Title, to overshadow him either. So now you're in a rock and a hard place here for WWE. The safer move is to have Goldberg and Lesnar as your main event for Survivor Series in Toronto, because that's a big fight feel, a mega main event, and plus, think about it, you want to compete with other companies. The UFC has this mega event in Madison Square Garden, and their main event is Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez. The lightweight championship at 155. 4-hour event for this UFC event, to UFC 205. What would be the one thing that would stick it to the UFC? Lesnar, Goldberg, Survivor Series at the AAC. Yeah. At the ACC in Toronto. That would be even bigger. To me, you do this at Survivor Series, you stick it to the UFC and any other event that wants to try to mess with November, because that would be your biggest event. And normally the fourth and final pay-per-view is always the gloss over. Even though Survivor Series is considered the second longest running pay-per-view event of all behind WrestleMania, this would be the better move. This would be a smarter move if you put Goldberg and Lesnar as your main event for Survivor Series. At least for one night, make that Survivor Series this Survivor Series since the Deadly Game, when they had the tournament for the WWF World Title. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I hope you recovered from that bombshell I just dropped, but if you haven't, be ready, my friend. It's coming to you right now.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready for this. I mean, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, this is the segment of the night, no doubt about it. Good to see Goldberg back, and I think he looks real good, if I'm going to be quite honest. And I mean, yes, I was doing the Goldberg chant throughout the time when he came out, and yeah, I mean, he looked a little emotional. I mean, for him to finally be back in the WWE after 12 years, and talks about the WWE 2K17 video game with him being in it, and talks about his interview with Jonathan Coachman, and talks about the challenge laid down by Paul Heyman, and he accepts it. And as far as what Derek posted, I did see it, and I hate to say it, but I totally disagree with him. I mean, you put that at the Royal Rumble. I mean, especially now with the rumor that I heard. I mean, that you just dropped on us. I mean, possibly Shawn Michaels against AJ Styles for the WWE World Title, and possibly having him win it, and then you got the Royal Rumble match. I mean, you don't want to have this match overshadow those two. And I agree. This match has to happen at the Survivor Series. So, yeah. So there's really nothing more to say. Segment of the night, and a good way to close out what I thought was a meh edition of Monday Night Raw. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So, Florio, I give it to you.
I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, how can we follow that after what after that bombshell that MF just dropped on us about a possible Shawn Michaels, AJ Styles world title match at the Royal Rumble in San Antonio? My goodness gracious, if that happens, oh Nelly, that's going to be that's a 5-star classic waiting to happen right there. And that could easily be the match of the year for 2017. I don't care what matches go down that year. Goodness gracious. Shawn Michaels and AJ Styles one-on-one with the title on the line. My Lord, that is going to be wow. That's all I can say. If that happens, I would love to see it. That's a dream match right there, January 29th. And I think we just may have given Derek Ferrer a possible sports blog idea. Although Derek did a sports blog about a week or two ago talking about Shawn Michaels possibly being in the Royal Rumble match in San Antonio. So I don't know if he got word of that dirt sheet or not, but by howdy, we're gonna have to look long and hard for that dirt sheet. I want to read that dirt sheet. Trust me on that. So all right. With that being said, let's move on now to our overall review, and I believe MF starts it off. So MF, well documented. This was another piss poor edition of Monday Night Raw. How bad was it in your eyes?
4 out of 10. I can't really say much about it. The only saving grace of this show was really the Goldberg at the end of the night. If it wasn't for that, I mean, this could have gone down as one of the worst Raws of the year. I mean, I easily could have gone even lower. Because going into it before the Goldberg segment, I was teetering around 2 to 2.5. That's how bad it was. So, I mean, for me, I give it a respectable 4, even though that's still below average in my eyes. Monday Night Raw many throwaway fights, way too many bad segments. Even though I thought the interview segments with Lita, with Charlotte, and Sasha was good. I like the beginning where you get the storyline about a possible triple threat, and now we got the triple threat fight next week. So, I mean, you got that going, but not much after that. And that's really the biggest issue WWE, well, at least Monday Night Raw has. But like Anthony said, and you said it best, on SmackDown, look, admit it, last week's SmackDown was not the best show. However, with the allotted time that SmackDown has, which is 2 hours, you can actually gloss over a lot of the good things. We can gloss over a lot of the bad things that they do. And the thing is, with the 2-hour premise, you have to be more quicker on everything. And the thing is, what makes the show better is that the way that they utilize the talent is better on SmackDown than they utilize the talent on Raw. I mean, my God, Adrian Neville. I mean, I'm sorry, man. I mean, Neville, come to SmackDown, man. The land of opportunity, bro. You would be a star in this company, and at Monday Night Raw, respected the cruiserweights tonight. I mean, I can go into so many bad things, but I'm not, because I want to be at least respectable. Else, but there was nothing respectable about this show. I'm sorry. 4 out of 10, and I might be real generous with that, and I would not be shocked if Florio and Bullet goes even lower than 4. But me, because I think the only good thing out of the show was Goldberg. Other than that, nothing more. Bullock, it's yours.
Florio, before I give you my rating, I like to have a request.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you waive your PG rule, because I am so ready to go off.
Uh-oh.
Phenom rant, go ahead.
Florio, wave it.
Go.
Okay.
Go.
So, WWE, are you fucking serious right now? Really? Are you fucking serious? I mean, this is why your shows have been sucking ass the last few weeks, because you've been giving us too many dud enhancement matches instead of giving us good quality matches and good segments. I mean, this is why SmackDown Live is kicking your ass right now. They give us they give us good matches, good segments for us to look forward to, and all that. And instead, you throw us fucking hot garbage week after week after week. Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of people that are shitting on this show, and I'm one of those people. And I'll tell you this right now. I'm going to give you guys one more week to really improve this. Because if you don't improve Monday Night Raw come next week, if you give me another fucking bad show, I am so done with Monday Night Raw. I'm fucking serious. I am so fucking done with Monday Night Raw, because I am getting sick and tired of this nonsense that they give. I mean, all this hot garbage they're delivering to us is so fucking ridiculous, and it sucks ass. And I am getting so fucking sick and tired of it. 3 out of 10. Done. Finished. Florio, move on.
3 to 4 out of 10. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, another overall average show. Well, average and mediocre show. Let me rephrase that. With the Rollins, Owens, Jericho stuff, and Goldberg promo to close the show being the must-see stuff. That's really all there is to say about that. I mean, each and every week, this show just continues to get worse and worse and worse. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. I mean,
you want to know? You want to know who the reason is for it? Vince McFrickin' Dinkelberg and that bucktooth jackass Kevin Dunn.
Bucktooth Beaver. Yes, I agree, 100%.
No. It's bucktooth jackass, in my opinion.
Well, you're right up there with Jim Cornette then. So, yeah. So that's really all I can say. I mean, a few weeks ago on a Cerebral Smack Talk show, back on the September 27th edition of Cerebral Smack Talk, when MF and I ran that show, we went down a list of reasons why SmackDown Live was better than Monday Night Raw. Storyline progression, better talent, better matches, no done enhancement filler, no pointless and unnecessary hot monkey garbage. But Monday Night Raw just keeps giving us the same old BS and hot garbage each and every week. 3 hours is way too much to sit through. It was a marathon show tonight, all just to get to the Bill Goldberg spot, which was far and away, like Michael Fletcher said, the saving grace of this edition of Monday Night Raw. If this doesn't happen, this could have been a hot garbage edition of this show tonight. But there were a few positives, though. I mean, Rollins and Jericho, fight of the night, 3.5 stars. And then second best fight, I'd have to give it to Big E and Sheamus. And then round out the top three with reluctantly with the cruiserweights, even though that didn't really wow me either. The cruiserweights, that's another problem. I mean, what are they going to do with the cruiserweights? I mean, good grief. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. And, oh, Lord. But nonetheless, though, that's really all I can say about it. And next week on Raw, of course, triple threat match, Owens, Rollins, Jericho. We'll see how that goes. And then New Day against Sheamus and Cesaro. And, having a bit of a Facebook chat here with Derek Ferreira, regarding our hot story here. And I asked him point blank, do you see Shawn Michaels versus AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble? And he says, it depends. Vince is going to have to fork a ton of money to get HBK back, but somehow HBK will not buy into it. He's happy with retirement and spending time with his family. And even if that match happens, it's going to have to rival Okada versus Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 11. That match is the hot seller and could be the match of the year contender for 2017. The champion and leader of Chaos versus the rising star and leader of the Bullet Club. So, okay. So, I can understand that. Fair enough. So, but nonetheless, that's all that there is to say about that as far as Raw is concerned. And I hope you listen to Michael Bullock's warning, WWE, because if you give us another hot monkey garbage show next week, with next week's show being the go home show for Hell in a Cell, oh boy. That's all I can say. I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Bullock goes Cerebral Viper mode next week, for all I know. So, so that's it. So we're just gonna leave it at that. So
and I'm getting my shovel out and I'm burying somebody's ass 6 feet under.
Yep. And in the immortal words, let me just say it like this: for WWE, shape up or ship out. That's all I can say about that. If you don't shape up, we're shipping out. So
and adapt or perish.
Adapt or perish. You're damn right. I'll even go as far as to say SmackDown Live is far more superior than Monday Night Raw. They were back then in the original brand extension. Far and away, more better even now. SmackDown, in my opinion, is the A show. And Monday Night Raw is more like a B show, more like a C show or an F show for all I care. So, so disappointing.
F show as far as I'm concerned.
Amen to that. All right, let's get into Tony's take now. Impact Wrestling, that's where we're gonna go now. This wasn't any better, but it was a little better. But with that being said, let's start it off. We had the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion Eddie Edwards in the ring, and he cut the promo, and his basically him talking about his struggles for 14 years and how he's been up and down the road. Your typical babyface champion underdog promo and all that. Solid start to the show, and then Bobby Lashley would come out and attack him and beat the snot out of him until Moose and EC3 made the save. Like I said, it was a solid start to the show with the Lashley Edwards saga far from over. Moose and EC3 are on the outside, but both want title shots, so it'll be interesting to see how they get there. Unfortunately, this felt really flat. The crowd was just there, and the atmosphere of the Impact Zone was beyond stagnant. So that's all I can say on that. Then we had our first match of the evening, Grand Championship match. Champion Aaron Rex defending against Jesse Goddard of the Bromans. Winner of the match at 1 minute and 52 seconds of the third round via a pinfall, and still TNA Grand Champion Aaron Rex. I got to say this was the second best fight of the night on my scorecard. I'm going to give it 2 3/4. That's how I'm going to give it 2 3/4 stars. I really like that they gave Goddard a lot there and really played to the round system. Rex getting desperate also worked well and could signal a much-needed heel turn. Goddard keeps improving, and I can only imagine how good he'd be if he worked more often. So that's all I can say on that. And then we had the TNA World Tag Team Champions, the Broken Hardys, Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero. And then they actually got attacked by the Tribunal. So it looks like Baron Dax and my favorite name, Basil Baraka, are going to be the next challengers, or the first challengers for the Broken Hardys for the tag team titles. Fun stuff from the Broken Hardys, and the Tribunal will be a fine team to delete until we move on to something bigger. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Then we had the in-ring debut of Cody Rhodes, or as he's just known as Cody. His wife, Brandy, was in his corner. He went up against the Miracle Mike Bennett with Maria Kanellis Bennett. Winner of the match in 8 minutes and 42 seconds via pinfall. Cody Rhodes wins it with the Crossroads. Fight of the night, solid 3 stars. It was a good match with both guys working with a sense of urgency, and they thankfully did not fill it with a bunch of BS with Maria and Brandy. The finish did, however, feel anticlimactic, and if they had worked that out more into something resembling drama, the match would have been better. But this was my default fight of the night, solid 3 stars. Then we had an X Division Championship match, DJZ defending against Marche Rocket. Winner of the match in 4 minutes and 35 seconds via pinfall, DJZ. And DJZ wins it. He is still your TNA X Division champion. Solid 2 stars. It wasn't bad. It was just bland. Also, typical X Division match, 4 to 6 minutes long and happening for no real reason. So you have no reason to get invested. As I have said before, they have some talent for sure. They just take no care in booking them. That's all I can say about that. And then we had our third championship match of the evening, the Knockouts Championship match, no disqualification, Gail Kim versus Maria Kanellis Bennett. Winner of the match in 4 minutes and 57 seconds via pinfall, and still TNA Knockouts champion Gail Kim. Maria's power is gone. She's no longer controlling the knockouts because of this match. So the Bound for Glory match was a dud, I will admit it. But this wasn't any better, but it was actually a little bit better. I'm going to give it 1 star this time around. Thanks to the smoke and mirrors, it was better than Bound for Glory, but that's not saying much, and I wouldn't call it good. They did some stuff. It was okay, but there was no real heat or drama to this like the entire feud. I just hope we can move on from this angle that has completely handcuffed the Knockouts division for seemingly forever. So that's really all I can say on that. And then the main event of the evening, Ethan Carter III versus Moose. Winner of the match in 7 minutes and 37 seconds via pinfall. It was Moose. Moose actually gets the win. 2.5 stars. Overall average match, lacking intensity and using a poor layout. It felt like the Reader's Digest version of a big-time match, hitting the highlights and skipping the parts that actually build to the drama. Also, while not bad, the execution felt off at times. I am not sure what you do with EC3. I like the program with Eli Drake and what it could be, but he feels lost as the babyface that failed. He also isn't exactly gaining sympathy with it either. He's miscast, especially after failing at Bound for Glory. The problem is that if he goes heel, he is battling with Bobby Lashley, Drew Galloway, Mike Bennett, and possibly Aaron Rex for that top spot. And that's if Eli Drake is turned babyface, which by the crowd reactions he's been getting, he could be. So that's really all I can say on that. So overall thoughts, I'm going to give it 6 out of 10. Last week's edition of Impact was solid, but it just lacked energy. And while we all know that Impact is a taped show, it really felt like one this past week with a flat crowd, a lack of real energy, and obvious sound editing. I have no issues with sound sweetening and post-production, but it can't be so obvious. The good news is that they built to next week. They did build to next week well, with Cody Rhodes challenging Eddie Edwards and Moose versus Bobby Lashley to set the next contender. So that's really all I can say on that. So a 6 out of 10, solid 6 out of 10 for this edition of Impact Wrestling this past week. Now, before we wrap up, of course, I want to let you know, I just want to make sure I have the right information here about the show that we're going to have for next week. I'm going to make sure I have these notes read correctly, because you know how they like to, they tend to tape all over the place. Okay. This looks like something interesting out of this. If I miss anything, I do apologize, but this is what I see listed for Thursday night's Impact Wrestling. You might want to tune in. This could actually be a good show. One more time for the TNA World Tag Team Championship. The Broken Hardys will face Decay. Lethal Lockdown. Yes. And then from there, Bobby Lashley goes one-on-one with Moose. A Fact of Life segment with Eli Drake, and his special guest is the Grand Champion Aaron Rex. Look for EC3, and also look for Jesse Goddard to go down. And then the Miracle Mike Bennett will go one-on-one with Mahabali Shera. And then there's going to be a knockout segment with Maria Kanellis and Laurel Van Ness and Allie. And look for something to happen during that. And then the main event of the evening for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, Eddie Edwards in his first title defense against the new signee, Cody Rhodes. Oh boy, that could be real. That could be something really special. You might want to tune into that on Thursday night. Eddie Edwards, Cody Rhodes, World Heavyweight Championship match. Whew. That could be good. That could be something really good. So, so that's what's slated to go down Thursday night. If you see the show and I miss anything, I do apologize, but I will get it. I'll break it all down for you next week, right here on Ridiculously Raw. Hardys and Decay, Lethal Lockdown, tag team titles, Lashley and Moose, Eli Drake's Fact of Life with Aaron Rex, Mike Bennett versus Mahabali Shera, Maria Kanellis, an Alley segment with Laurel Van Ness. You might want to tune into that. Something big's going to go down during that. And then Eddie Edwards and Cody Rhodes for the title. Wow. All right, so that'll do it for this. So with that, that'll put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in and putting up with our rants here tonight. So with all that being said, shout out time. So whoever wants to start it off, open forum, just save me for last, and so I can set up the future content. So whoever wants it first, go ahead.
I'll take it. Of course, shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to support our shows, whether it's this or the Cerebral Smack Talk or Strictly Sports College Football Thursday or NFL Friday. It doesn't matter. We really appreciate it. We thank you, sir, so very much for tuning in and of course putting up with our rants here. So yeah, it's not easy, but you know, it is what it is. So of course, shout out to the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Dee Dee Woodson, and of course to the rest of the Woodson family, and of course our other super fans, Matt Ward and Jason Hicksonbaugh. And of course, shout outs to our friends from our high school days, Al Brederson, Jimmy Alden, Rob Parsons, Eric Carrier, Tom Souza, Megan Silva, and of course the First Lady of Strictly Sports, Kaiser Butler, to the Grand Poobah himself, Derek Ferreira. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. So yeah, so until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, this is the Phenom Mike Bullock saying thank you all so very much for tuning in. Of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now and enjoy the rest of your night, everybody. So Fletcher, I give it to you.
All right, yes, indeed, Michael Bullock. Thank you very much, and you know, I want to say thank you to all the great fans out there. You guys are the best fans in the world. You guys enjoyed the show, which is absolutely amazing as always. To the super fans, you guys already know. To my friends in the junior high school days, you guys already know who you guys are. 2184 crew, love you guys, and the whole 9 yards. All right, tomorrow night is tomorrow is another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. Starts at 10:30 Eastern on YouTube.com. I'm BrazeFan95. SmackDown Live. We got Lucha Underground. We got some Ring of Honor on competent and major announcement coming from the RWA. I haven't heard from these guys in a little bit. They're back. One night only. I'm going to give you full details, and I'm going to issue an open challenge to my fellow colleagues. It's going to be put up or shut up tomorrow night, 10:30 Eastern. Braves Fan 95. You're not going to believe what I'm going to say. It's going to be awesome. See you guys tomorrow night. Florio, it's yours.
Okay, we got some ammo to tune into Cerebral Smack Talk tomorrow night. And we're not just talking about SmackDown Live, but we're going to get into that in a minute. But yes, indeed, Fletch. It'll be very interesting to hear what you have to say on that. Now, as far as the shout-outs go, it's the usual shout-outs. Our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to make our shows as what they are. We appreciate it as always. Best fans in the world. Of course, we can't forget about our super fans and insiders. Of course, our first lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel, Lily Woodson, who couldn't be with us tonight, work commitments. She should be with us tomorrow night for Cerebral Smack Talk, so hopefully we'll hear from her then. Kevin Woodson and the entire Woodson family as well. Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonbaugh, Daniel Luttrell from the UK, our other first ladies, Kaiser Butler, Megan Silva, and Lexi Calloway, and of course our other crew members, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Al Bradiston, and Rob Parsons, and of course, last but not least, our Imperial Grand Poobah himself, the Hardcore Pipe Bomb, Derek Ferreira, sports blog. Check it out; it's great. So yeah, I'll save the rest of my shout-outs for Friday night. And as far as this is concerned, let me just say it like this. Future content, of course, tomorrow night, Cerebral Smack Talk. We're going to talk about SmackDown Live. Baron Corbin against Jack Swagger. Alexa Bliss against Naomi. And, of course, what's probably going to be the main event of the evening, God help us, the phenomenal AJ Styles defending the WWE World Championship against James Ellsworth. And so help us God if James Ellsworth wins the title tomorrow night. Oh, boy. Armageddon comes early. That's all I can say on that. And so that's SmackDown Live. And then Fletch with his ROH and Lucha Underground as part of his Mikey's Mindset and that highly anticipated announcement about the RWA and that open challenge that he's going to issue to us. Oh, boy. Cerebral Vipers calling us out. Okay, we're game. Let's see what you got for us. That's all I can say. So that's tomorrow night, 10:30, Braves Fan 95, Cerebral Smack Talk. And then Thursday, 10:30, we have College Football Thursday. Headlined, of course, by the game of the week, Texas A&M versus Alabama in Tuscaloosa. That's your game of the week right there, friends. I don't care what anybody says. That's our headline game next week. Or I should say this Thursday night. And then Friday night at 10:30, NFL Friday. The headliner, of course, the New England Patriots against the Pittsburgh Steelers, even though Ben Roethlisberger will not be playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers after getting injured and ramsacked by Fletch's Dolphins. And I know Fletch has got to be gloating over that big win yesterday. So I know don't worry, Fletch, I'll give you a chance to gloat on Friday night. And also, another headliner, Minnesota against Philadelphia. And, of course, the other headliner, the Strictly Sports Buddy Bowl. Me and my Buffalo Bills against Fletcher and his Miami Dolphins in Miami. Fletch he'll get a chance to gloat about his big win over Pittsburgh, but I'm going to get a chance to gloat over my Bills' fourth straight win. So that's all I can say on that. So you don't want to miss Friday night. So, and then that's it. So with all that being said, that'll do it for this. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, ridiculously over Anthony Florio here, for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, the Twisted Angel Didi Woodson, and Hardcore Pipe Bomb Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday. And until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Zone 25 on YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. Good night, everybody.